With the launch of Beyond Light, Bungie has done something really great and has the possibility of changing the future of all content in Destiny going forward. And what this great thing Bungie did was add another material. But not any ordinary material, a special raid material that is only acquired from completing raid encounters. This material is called Spoils of Conquest, and what its description says is the following. The Spoils of Conquest can be used to unlock loot caches within raids. Now when these were first added, no one knew what they really did because you couldn't use them in the Last Wish or Garden of Salvation raids. But when the Deepstone Crypt was completed, players found out that you were able to actually purchase the raid items from the last chest for Spoils of Conquest. So once you beat the final encounter of Deepstone Crypt, the chest allows you to interact with it, and this menu pops up. You have two ways of buying raid loot. The first way is basically a loot box that contains gear from certain encounters. These cost 60 spoils of war. Now the special thing about these crates, and the reason that they cost so much, is that you can actually get items out of these that you haven't gotten before. All the available items are listed when you hover over them. The second way to purchase items is to purchase the items directly. This requires that you have already earned the piece of loot before. So for example, if you run the raid and the only weapon you get is the shotgun, then you can only purchase more rolls of the shotgun from the final chest. Now outside of the Deepstone Crypt, all the new players or players that were not able to get any of the vaulted raid exotics will need to get 240 spoils to purchase each exotic weapon. That's a lot of spoils. That's actually a full stack of spoils. But if you stay till the end, I'll explain an easy farming method that can get tons of spoils in the matter of minutes. Now, how do you get Spoils of Conquest? Well, every raid encounter in the game rewards spoils, but there are a few notes here. Last Wish and Garden of Salvation encounters only reward 3 spoils per encounter. Each secret chest from the Deepstone Crypt reward 10 spoils each chest once per character per week. And here's the really cool thing. After completing the Deepstone Crypt on a character every time you complete the encounter on the same character in the same week, you get 5 spoils instead of 3. So a really fast farming method to acquire spoils is to do the following. Complete the Deepstone Crypt on a character for the week, then take a checkpoint for the first encounter on a different character, and keep completing the first encounter on the character you have already completed on prior. This encounter is easily one-phased using Celestial Nighthawk, Bottom Tree Nova Bomb, and Xenophage, making quick work of this encounter allowing for a really fast and easy farming method. And now some of my thoughts about how Bungie has done really well with the spoils and how the system can be improved and expanded, as well as a design choice that I think is a bit odd. First, the spoil system is one of the best. It allows people to curb the RNG in their favor. You want the shotgun and you haven't gotten it after the third character? Go farm some spoils. It allows players with time to spend in the game to run something and still be rewarded. This simple fact really helps new players, and will keep the LFG locations filled with people running the raid for years to come, since no raid Randy is able to have his friend Grinding Gary teach him the raid. While Gary has done the raid hundreds of times, he is still able to get at least one specific drop out of it. So if he's still looking for that god roll, he can keep Randy along for the ride, help him through it as well. There was a similar system in Wrath of the Machine, but this new system can be scaled up to all future raids, so for the first time in Destiny history, you can guarantee getting a specific item. Second, the weird design choice. Personally, I don't think that the Deepstone Crypt should be the most efficient way of obtaining the spoils. The spoils should serve as an incentive to go run Last Wish or Garden. I mean, everyone I talk to about Garden are so burned out of it because it was the only raid that you have a reason to run for the past year. Now imagine if Garden and Last Wish were on a weekly rotator where once you complete the raid each week, you get a large amount of spoils. Let's say, for argument's sake, 60. It's that sweet spot of being able to purchase a loot box or buy 3 rolls of any weapon from Deepstone. It would incentivize groups to say, alright, we're going to stock up on spoils, then clear Deepstone. Create a sort of revival of the old raids. Then if you were getting spoils all the time, Bungie could add the store mechanic into Last Wish and Garden, where you can buy rolls of items from those raids respectively. My main problem with Deepstone being the best place to get spoils is that the idea behind running Deepstone should be to get the loot from it. Rather, the old raid should be how you improve your chances of getting what you want from the most current raid, in general. I know the majority of the community has this viewpoint that if a raid is old, it's not part of the endgame, but that's simply not true, and Bungie clearly doesn't see it that way either, since Garden and Last Wish drops have had their gear updated as far as sunsetting. So instead, they should be shifting to work in synergy with the newest raid, allowing you to run the old raids to stock up on spoils, and then run the most recent raid to get better rolls, or not better, but more rolls, increasing the chance that you'll get the roll you want, or the god roll.